This video is going to go over my top 5 changes coming in 7 Days to Die Alpha 20. This list is completely opinion based, so if you have a different one, let us know down in the comments. And while you're there, click that like button. Anyway, let's get straight into my top 5 changes coming in 7 Days to Die Alpha 20. Number 5 is the shape rework. 7 Days to Die has one of the best building systems in the survival game genre, but it's also disjointed with a lot of blocks straight up just missing shapes. Rebar stairs, anyone? Well, 7 Days to Die is bringing a much needed standardization update to the shape menu. With that, we'll see all blocks having all of the shapes available, which is a huge bonus for creative builders and horde-based fanatics. Building is a mechanic I absolutely love in other games like Minecraft and Ark Survival Evolved, and I'd love to be able to use 7 Days to Die's amazing building blocks to get creative. But in its current state, the shape menu is an absolute mess. But with 7 Days to Die Alpha 20's building rework, I'll be spending a whole lot more time building my dream house and castles. But from one mechanic I'll be spending a lot more time on, to one mechanic I won't be spending anywhere near as much time on as I used to, which is a good thing. That's right, number 4 is the updated map generator. Now you may be wondering, Prebuilt, why on earth would you spend less time with the Alpha 20 map generator than you did with the Alpha 19 one? And that answer is pretty simple. Generation times. The devs are currently aiming to generate a world at 1 minute per kilometer, which is still ages compared to King Gen, but at least the Alpha 20 generator is going to be easily twice as fast as the current Alpha 19 generator. As if that wasn't enough to gain its place on this list, the new map generator will be generating much nicer looking terrain and will have much more customizability compared to the old one. The main appeal I think though will be that speed. Some of you are working with some lower end machines and have a bad time generating these worlds, so the improvements in performance should be night and day for you guys. On the topic of speed, number 3 is vehicle mods. I love vehicles in 7 Days to Die, so much so that my very first YouTube video was a guide on how to get the mini bike by day 3, and my number 1 favourite perk was Grease Monkey. So it should be no surprise that vehicle mods are something I absolutely want to see coming in 7 Days to Die Alpha 20. For a quick overview, we're going to be getting the supercharger, the reserve fuel tank, the fuel saver, the off-road headlights, and of course for you multiplayer fanatics, the expanded seating. Anything that allows me to customise my vehicles and just generally spend more time fine-tuning my vehicular experience is a very welcome addition to 7 Days to Die. Another very welcome addition is number 2. Pipe guns. Pipe guns are going to be basic tier 0 firearms that will take the place of things like the blunderbuss and be craftable on day 1. Now why do I care so much about that? Simple. Specialization. No longer do I basically have to spec into strength in the early game to survive because bows are literally non-functional and stealth has no effect on Horde Night, or because spears are worthless and explosives are unreliable, or because punching is just a bad idea before you have enough skill points to make it work. Because now, I'll be able to spawn in, gather some basic materials and craft a pipe pistol, and actually make an agility build that won't make me want to tear my eyes out. Or I could craft a pipe rifle and instantly start on my sniper build, or a machine gun, you get the point. Now ammo is still going to very much be a limiting factor, but now the early game is going to be much smoother and much less reliant on sledgehammers and clubs. So for that reason, pipe guns are number 2 on my list. Before we hop into number 1, I'd just like to remind you that if you're enjoying the video and want to see more videos like this, then let me know by hitting that subscribe button. But enough of that. Number 1 is Biome Game Stage Difficulty Multipliers. Biome Difficulty Game Stage Difficult Biome Game Stage I don't know. Biome Difficulty Modifiers. Now I know that's slightly boring, it's not as glamorous as something like pipe weapons, but I do have a big explanation as to why. But first, let me explain what it is for those of you that haven't heard about it, as for a lot of you I know this video is going to be your very first exposure to Alpha 20. In Alpha 20, the biomes in the game are going to be giving a boost to your game stage, with the desert and the snow biome giving a game stage boost to make it a substantial amount harder, but also with the added bonus of increasing the quality and tier of loot you get. The wasteland biome will have a much more extreme version of this, and the burn forest is just removed. This means you can run into a harder biome basically whenever you'd like and fight harder enemies and get better loot. This finally allows advanced players to take the initiative into their own hands by pushing themselves to fight harder enemies and get better loot, but keeps it nice and safe for new players that decide to stay in the pine forest. I really like this game design choice. as it encourages risk versus reward mindsets, but it also encourages exploration. Two things I love in games. Whereas right now, there's virtually no difference to the loot you get from a house, to a military base, to a factory. It's all basically the same in the end of dungeon loot room, because the loot you get is based on game stage and some other modifiers the player can control, like the lucky looter perk. With this new feature, players can actively choose the challenge they want to take on and actually be rewarded for taking these risks, meaning the game will be much less of a monotonous grind, which is my biggest issue with the game currently, which is why this is number 1 on my list. But what do you think about that list? Do you agree with it? Is there some changes you'd make? Maybe swap some around? Add in a change I didn't mention? I should also say that I want to give an honourable mention to the new Feral Sense game mechanic. I have a lot of fun video ideas related to that and its applications in minigames, which you guys will obviously have to wait a while to see, but it seems like it's going to be a very fun mechanic. That said, if you got all the way through this video, first of all, thank you, and second of all, check out this video popping up on the screen to get a brief overview of all the features coming in 7 Days to Die Alpha 20, if you have no idea about any of what I said in today's video. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching yet another video, and I'll see you in the next one.